Welcome to the Faith in the Wild podcast, where the path is rarely straight, but always sacred. I'm Nicole Moran.
And I'm Angelica McCarthy. For 20 years, we've been walking this journey of life together, stumbling, rising, and discovering God's presence in unexpected places.
Today, we're creating space for conversation and reflection, inviting you to venture into the wilderness with us, because sometimes the most profound truths are found when we step off the marked trails and trust that we're exactly where we need to be.
So take a deep breath, open your heart, and join us as we explore what it means to have faith in the wild. Hi, y'all. How are you, Nicole?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Do we want to introduce ourselves? Who are you? Where are you in the world?
I think that's a really great place to start, friend. So, I am Nicole Moran. I am a lot of things: wife, mother, sister, friend, child of God. I have a couple letters behind my name. I find passion in my profession of being a physical therapist. I love a good business discussion. I have my MBA, and I enjoy lots of things out here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And I am blessed to be here in this conversation with my age-old friend. How about you? Where are you at?
Where am I at today? I was in Newport the other day. I was going to send you all these pictures. But anyway, hello. My name is Angelica McCarthy. She, her pronouns. And I'm a multi-hyphenate too. I so appreciate that you said I'm a mother, I'm a wife, It's literally, you gotta start with the multi-hyphenate. By trade, I'm an athletic trainer, but I'm growing out of that energy of just one lane, one idea, one entity. And I like to say that I'm a creative. And whether it's creating art, creating music, ideas, thought leadership, it's about stepping out of myself through the art of well-being and what does that look like for me, and then how can I impart that on others. I'm married to a drummer. I'm not sure if you can hear him underneath me. Can you?
No,
Can't hear it?
Not yet.
Great, because our house is not soundproof yet. I can hear him like he's in the room with me, but that's just how we flow. I'm a child of God also. He's really running me through it today. So I love that we're here together and we're going to flow through this beautiful thing. Like you said, age old. We were talking about this before we started recording. Nicole made the realization that we've known each other for 20 years and my jaw dropped to the floor. So it's kind of nuts.
It goes fast.
Whose idea was that for it to go that fast?
I remember like it was yesterday, knock on my door, freshman year of college, tick, tick, tick. Hi, who are you? Hi. First day, probably within the first couple hours, fast forward 20 years, here we are creating this space, recording ourselves to just continue to grow together in the season that we're in today. So super pumped for this conversation.
Me too. Why don't we just dive in? We were chatting last week about topics and we came upon trust, especially in our past couple of years of changes and adaptations, how we used to be, who we used to be, and how we're growing and shifting, and how trust is kind of like, whoa, that's the thing that is hard to find, hard to stay grounded in, but it's one of those main things. Yeah. Did you have any thoughts of how you wanted to dive into trust today?
When we started talking about it last week, we've been connecting on a weekly basis to dive into, bring us to the point that we are today, recording this and bringing this space to some light, not only for us, hopefully some ears for us to reflect on, but others, and hearing from others this week. When we talked about, hey, we're going to be listening to trust this week and we're going to bring this space today, you hear it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you hear it in television, you hear it in songs that you're listening to, things that I'm reading, and a verse that I'm reading. It's amazing how much the word is around. But do you ever stop and think about what does it truly mean? And is it one-dimensional or is it multidimensional? That's where I've been at this week with it. Mm-hmm. And you think of trust in different ways of friendship, relationships, personal. Let's talk about that for a second. So personal trust. How do I trust myself? And for me, over these last years, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I've had 2 children and been married in the last 4 years. I don't even think we're at our 4-year anniversary, which will be September. And like, I'll tell you, a lot of trust in that space, a lot of trust in that space. So I did a lot of reflecting on that segment because I think you can kind of lose yourself. That's really been on my mind this week.
I love that. I'm going to tell you where my head has been with trust, and then maybe we find our through line together to how we continue with it, because I loved how you said it's a multidimensional thing. Everything always has multiple meanings or perspectives. How do I think about this today? You don't think about it until you actually have to think about it. You can think about trusting in others and circumstances, but what about trusting myself? Trusting God, like letting go of the control and just trust, but not like dragging my heels and just holding back and waiting for him. How do I trust myself and meet him in the middle and we walk this together? There was something I wrote the other day. I was trying to find it as you were talking so I wouldn't have to slow down the thought process. There was a reflection question I was working on the other day. Where in life can you release the need for control and trust the unfolding process? And that word unfolding, of trust the unfolding process, was actually kind of like, because sometimes that trust the process, and I've been seeing that everywhere, like from everything, devotional, television, social media, the process has literally been showing up. But when I saw that, trusting the unfolding process, the unfolding to then become or renew or whatever you want it to be, whatever it's supposed to be, that was kind of like,
I love that word unfolding. Like you said, it goes back to that it's multidimensional. It's not singular. And I think we're like that too, right? We're built as multidimensional, and being okay with that, and purposely said all those things about myself because we are made up of so many different dimensions. And I love reflecting on that. And it also drives me absolutely insane at the same time because like, how am I, like, where is my trust supposed to land? We're unfolding it. Okay, do I give the space of this is my way? This is God's way? This is my family's way? Are they the same? Going down a little bit of path there, but I like sticking with this unfolding right now. There's a series at my church, shout out LCBC, it's talking about in the wild, right? Like, where's your wilderness? A word that's been sticking out to me over the last few weeks, almost aligns a little bit with your unfolding, is it's called uncultivated, right? This uncultivated space. It's another definition of wilderness. And I think it aligns with this unfolding and this word of trust when we think about it.
oh,
And so I really like this space of thinking about this uncultivated and just kind of letting it go. Now, I'll be very vulnerable right now. I'm a little nervous about just doing this in general. Like, Ange and I have talked for 20 years very easily. Now I feel like we're recording us, and this makes me very nervous for some reason.
yes. Well, there's just a little bit more structure to it. That's why. If we were to have a phone, if you were to be out with a friend sitting next to your partner, like there's the ease, whereas we got a little structure and it's recorded. But I love that you put that through line of cultivating and unfolding together. Yes, 100%. And you said, where is my trust supposed to land? That's that control that you were talking about. But what is it versus it? Where is it supposed to land? Where is it supposed to come from? Where is it rooted? How is it rooted? And then everything else is the trust and practice, right? That literally just came to me as I just said it. So that right is kind of like a wait, right? Like correct? Or does that make sense?
Trust is a practice? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
the practice of trust is not where is it supposed to land, it's where it's coming from.
Where it's coming from.
Where is it supposed to land? That answer, that question is the practice of trust. It doesn't matter because you trust.
So what are you trusting these days? We went there.
Oh, look, I'm in a major transition. And it's funny because the transition is mainly in career. It's in the essence of purpose of career, the impact of career, not just what I went to school to do. With that, it's stepping away from everything I've spent I've been in practice for 15 years. So since school, the past 20 years, I started in the world of wanting to be an athletic trainer since entering Slippery Rock. And so that's 20 years of saying this is going to be an essence of who I am and what I do. And I'm ready to let it go. The things that I'm trusting in are trusting myself in the transition. Whenever I change, everything else around me is going to change. It's going to affect my relationship with my partner, with the relationships that I've built, like clients and things like that. It's shifting my environment in all the beautiful ways. The thing is, I trust, but it's that unfolding part that is really, really happening, because with that change also means that I'm shedding a layer of the things that have kept me into that point. And it doesn't mean that they're the most beautiful things. I'm shedding the difficult, the ugly, all of the above, just as much as I'm trying to gain to be able to cultivate, co-create that next. So um, that's that's the biggest thing that I'm in trust with. Navigating that. I have the ups and the downs and the ins and outs. Like today I woke up just like, ugh, okay, I kind of know where I'm going, but then I don't at the same time. It took me some part of the morning to really just tap in. By tapping in, it's the devotional time, the writing and all that stuff, to be like, okay, where are we? Because I thought I knew where we were, and today I just don't feel it. It's not connecting. It's in the heart, but it's not connecting to the brain, or the brain's like, oh, but you got to do all these tasks. And the last thing I want to do is those. Today has definitely been, I was locked into the trust from the beginning of the day. Luckily, we did this in the afternoons where you're seeing a little brighter compared to what I was this morning. The wilderness is real. I'm in it. And I think it's also enjoying and being comfortable. Embracing it is where I'm also at too.
I appreciate you sharing that, because I think within this space of wilderness, even though we are states and hours away, we all have our own wilderness, right? We can all appreciate support and bring structure to connection, because I think there's such need for connection, and we have deep rooted friendship as our connection, and there's a lot of trust and vulnerability that is there. I know, speaking for myself, like just having this space with my friend on this line just gives me such peace, right? Just gives me such peace. I love you, friend. I think we've just grown so much individually, but also together, honestly, at the same time. And I'm very proud of us. So I also want to say that out loud, because one
Thank
thing
you.
I want to be in the space about is also stepping out of our comfort zones within this wilderness time, because I think, like, I love how you said shedding. And at first I was like, shedding, but there's so much that you've learned to build yourself back up, but also taking some of that weight off, taking some of those walls down, and allowing yourself the space to step through something else. And
Mhm.
I love where we're at in our connections. Over the last few years for myself, it's been head down, make it through day to day. Being a mother is quite a hood to be in, and it's quite a wilderness. I don't even think they should call it motherhood anymore. They should just
I
call it
was
wilderness.
I was getting ready to say, you want to repeat that for the folks in the back.
God, I will tell
I'm
you,
not even there, and it's like, oh shoot.
first, like the first service we got out, I ran into a friend from high school. She also attends, has 3 little ones. And I looked at her and I was like, can we just say out loud that motherhood's a wilderness? Can somebody just start talking about this? Just give us a space. The spot I was in a leadership journey from a professional standpoint, and I was ready. I was hungry. I was climbing that corporate ladder that everybody highlights. And then it came rocking down. It was like, all right, is this after my firstborn? And then when the second one came, is this the ladder you need to be on right now?
Mm.
And that trust, I'll tell you, I was raw. That wilderness was dark. I love my husband. God bless you for showing up. But it is a spot to be in. I was constantly surrounded by people, but the isolation I felt in that journey was hard. Trust was not a positive word at that time when I was in
Mm.
that space.
Do you mind if I ask what that means, though? Like it not being a positive word at that time. What did it mean?
At that time, I was very much focused, like, I can do this, put my head down. I went to a space where I was like, I'm going to get through this. There was a lot of eyes, a lot of
Mm.
internal focus. It was a lot of like, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. You reach a point where it's almost like you're in this wilderness and you just can't,
Yeah.
period. That was a hard space for me personally. That was hard. This is hard to say out loud, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, my faith had been a journey. I have a lot of trust in God. I talk about it, but what does that really mean? And that's when I started really opening my eyes and listening more again. Because there was a point where I did. And then for some reason, I stopped.
Life gets in the way.
Why does it do that? Is it life or just me? I think I got in the way, honestly. So, one last thing, I feel like this space, I said it this week to some of my girlfriends. We were on our way to yoga. I feel this wilderness journey over the last few years, reconnecting in this structured space with my friend here. God has literally opened up windows and doors at this point and saying, hey, it's spring. Like, let's roll. Doors, windows are open. Let's walk through this together. Let's be in this journey. And that word trust no longer feels heavy. And it's a really cool space to be in. And the one word that you said and where I'm at now is navigating it. How are we navigating it? You know, you said that and I had to write that down because I was like, I wonder how
Yeah.
she's navigating it. So I would love to learn from you.
Yeah. Navigating. I started using that word a couple years ago, like intentionally using it because it is a navigate, like to break down and to really like see how I help people. It's in the reflection time. And what do I help people do? I help people navigate themselves, like navigate change. And or what is the hardest thing where I'm seeing gaps in helping support people in their body awareness and their functional movement and all the things, and we navigate the changes of the body. We're navigating. And so when that reflects back to me, it's like, wait, I'm navigating just as much as they are, like as I'm helping them to. That word has always been something that has been evolving for me because it literally is navigation. Maybe Siri knows how to get me from A to B on the navigation, but still then she knows, but I don't know. So I have to trust her to get me from A to B. You ever have that moment where you space out and you're not paying attention to the directions, but you know you're paying attention, and then next thing you know, you're there?
Auto drive.
Yeah. But there are moments when I don't pay attention to Siri when she's navigating. And then next thing you know, I make a wrong turn. It's actually interesting. When you just get up and go, you really don't think, you just kind of do it. But as you're asking me that, what are the things that are really helping and supporting me in navigating change? Well, so I've had moments where life gets in the way and you're traveling or you have to get up and go do this. The timing, that routine time of day where I know that if I do this, and this, I can do anything. The devotional, spiritual me time has to be first thing in the morning. I've fallen off of that so many times and I can feel where everything drains out of me and it makes it harder, or where I can easily get away from
Yeah.
God and trust and things like that, where I'm trying to flex to control, or I need the strength to power through or control the outcomes versus like, no, this is when you're supposed to slow down and be still and sit and ground yourself. In the moments when it's easy and I'm feeling good waking up and then I go into that, I'm like, yes, singing and dancing and skipping. And days like today where I'm like, oh, it just feels just a little heavier. It's like, all right, Lord. And being in that presence throughout the day is something that I'm really trying to continue to work on, because that can also get hard too. Like, he's with me all day. It's not just first thing in the morning. It's in this call. It was 5 minutes ago. It's before I go to bed. And then navigating change also just looks like it is in the relationship, and it's in the communication and having that right environment and community. And we're growing through it over here. We're not perfect in it. The biggest thing is me being honest with myself and in my change, and my trust in myself and trusting God. And then that's something that can just spew out of me, like this conversation. This is where I'm at. This is who I am right now. This is who I'm evolving to become, to be who and but the relationships are one of the key things too, because it's not just me out here. If it was just me, then yeah, maybe some support, but it would be just me. But we've been married for almost 7 years. That's a decent amount of time to be with someone. It's not like you're just going home, going to work, that type of thing. We're out here trying to do big things because we believe in the work that we do. All of that is so unknown, so gray. The thing is, I've done it with trust, so I know the outcome.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So why would I deny myself of that?
Right.
So that's what it's looking like right now. Those are the shades of trust for Angelica today. How are you now? How are you navigating? Because you're a completely different scenario.
We are in a different scenario. I really appreciate you opening that and bringing it all to light. Because again, we go back to what we said at the beginning. It's multidimensional. It'd be nice if we could just throw structure around everything, but we are constantly changing, and life is constantly changing around us. Blessed to have the people that are in our lives to allow that space of constant change. We're saying we're a little different space over here. We've been married going on 4 years. And we have 2 beautiful boys, very active. They are currently napping.
Yes, it worked out.
I know. I keep thinking of my sister started a business. It's called While They Sleep. And I'm like, that's such a brilliant name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm creating and giving myself space. This is a good space to allow myself to be in this part of my journey as a mother, just talking about that really specifically, because I am somebody who self-identified myself with work prior to becoming this wife, mother, sister, friend, all the other parts of me. And I think that has really shaped how I navigate now. I've talked about it a little bit over the last few weeks with some friends of how I'm kind of navigating this wilderness that I felt like I've been in for these 2.5 years. And the space that I'm allowing myself to pick up a book again. Right?
Mm.
That's hard, just to find and carve out that space, 5-10 minutes. And so I started small. Little devotionals of space, allowing my brain also to touch on hobbies that I used to have. Dare I say I have hobbies as a mother? It's a
Ugh.
thing.
I don't
Hobbies.
even have them as me either, but that's a good. I like that for you.
And it allows yourself to reorient where you're at. And I think for me, it has been letting go of control to allow trust to expand in my life, and trusting others, trusting my boys, my husband, God, my friends, opening up and being vulnerable. That has been, I don't know if that's a destination or a path you could take through traffic and construction, but like that is a journey in itself. That is a journey in itself. So I think talking out loud,
Yeah.
finding the people like yourself, like girlfriends that I had that we were speaking to last night, like giving myself space to allow others to help and guide me and build trust along the route. Because just because I say today, like I'll tell you, I'm open. I am listening. I am listening full heartedly today to the Lord. I am ready in a lot of other spaces. But I'll tell you, I'm going to fall on my face when I walk out that door. I'm going to fall on my face with it. I'm going to, like you said, in 5 minutes, I might forget. And I'm like, oh, nope, Lord, you got it.
Yep. Yep.
You're driving. I'll just sit here in the passenger seat and listen to you.
Yep.
We'll just sit here, right? Like I am listening. I am here. It's a journey. And I think one of the things for me that I'm really focusing and being very intentional about is putting the people in the space and allowing myself to speak out loud the truths that I want in my life right now, that I'm feeling passionate about, And so I would say it's really those things. It's being vulnerable, being okay with being vulnerable and discovering what that looks like. Maybe not reading a novel series right now. That's not a goal of mine, but like little daily devotionals, little uplifts in my life, in my day, that my heart is seen, is heard, you know, getting verses, getting scripture, just little moments. Like it is a journey and there is a purpose to it that is bigger than what I think it is. I want to be somebody who allows the space and allows God to work through me to deliver what my purpose truly is. I am excited to be on this journey. Having the friends to do it, to support me and build me up in those spaces is kind of where I'm at with a trust perspective. Can I give you a little imagery? This was fun.
Please do. I love a good image visualization.
You know, this wilderness journey, I am going to harp on this, but this was a good one. So if you ever want to listen to it, I can send a link. Thinking yourself a ladder, right? My husband and I always talk about tiny rungs. If you're going to achieve a goal, like let's not make the rungs too big that I can't reach them, right? Like tiny goals. People do micro learnings, like, you know, set them small so you can achieve this big goal, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time type of thing. But I never thought the support that I need to be on that ladder until yesterday during the service. It's a question in this navigation journey of trust. Who's holding up your ladder to allow you to climb higher? It's not about the rungs that I'm setting myself, right? That's great. But if I don't talk about it and I don't ask people to hold my ladder, how high am I really going to be able to go?
Yeah, because at a certain point, the higher you go, there needs to be more and more support underneath it.
Right. There needs to be more and more trust.
Yeah. Ooh. I just got chills because I envision literally climbing a ladder. At some point, there is that sense of, oh, wow, I'm getting higher. And if there isn't that trust, then you either freeze or you fall. Anything can happen.
Think about it in the other way. How big is a ladder that you can climb by yourself? Like a solid step stool.
What are the ones they have in the kitchen? They go a little higher, maybe. Maybe that's the highest you can get.
Brings over to brush his teeth. Like I'm solid on that.
Yeah.
I got that.
Vulnerability and truth could be a whole nother topic by themselves.
Vulnerability,
literally.
Next tattoo, we got some space.
Yeah. Where do you go next with trust this week as we start a new week?
The song that's been on repeat and volume up in my space, I sent it to you the other day, is, and I really love Elevation Worship's version of this, is God's Not Against Me. And I love how it starts. It's like, you call me strong and courageous. Done, period. You call me strong and courageous. Done.
End of sentence.
What is more freeing than somebody telling you that you are strong and courageous, to trust that you can go with whatever your purpose is and intention is, whether that is making dinner for 2 toddlers that will not eat, or seeing a patient in our healthcare field, whether it's going on and, you know, being the best version of ourselves in the situation that we're in. It's like, you are strong and courageous. You are strong and courageous. And when you don't feel it, I am always here. And that I is God is always here. My favorite part of this song is at the end of it. It digs in to that, like the roots. I think of vulnerability and I think of control and I think of all these words that it's like, I have my gate up that I would love to shed. Going back to your word, this is not my fight. You're my defense. With the negative thoughts of trust, why are they there? Why are they there? Let me be open. Let me be vulnerable. Let me have people surround me to hold my ladder. Let me live in this space He has given me today. I appreciate this so much. And you are one of my ladder holders, my friend.
Full on hug.
This is good.
I love it.
Talk about too. I don't know where your thought is, where this is going.
Well, so as far as I think my thought was kind of just where it ended, of where do you take trust with you? We talked about where we've come from with it. We talked about where we are now with it. as we take our next step into tomorrow, the rest of the week, what do we want to continue to work on with it? Because we both know it's not a perfect process, nor will it ever be as much as we want. I would say for me and where I want to take it this week is just to continue to stay present and grounded. That's always a thing that takes true intention at this point. Trust, if I got to repeat it a million times. For me, it's about the action of it. I feel like I could get in my way with trust. And so that's kind of where I'm going to take it this week. And we're getting ready to get into a new month already. The sun is finally out. It's like 40 degrees right now. And if those little things are just adding on to the extra essence of moving forward and stepping in that trust. So yeah, in the end, it's all good, even in the challenges, all the things, you know?
And the word intention is so good. I think for me, it's just staying in this space and leaning into it and being intentional. Yeah. I say and hear this word intentional, right? You can talk from a leadership perspective, like, let's be intentional with what we're doing. But what does it really truly mean? What are some actions that you can do that actually are intentional? And a lot of good friends, and you mentioned it earlier, is writing. And I wasn't on board. I'm not going to lie about it. I went to a coffee shop one day and I'm like, I'm going to write. Nope. Like, let me drink coffee and check my email and do all these other things. This exercise in this week, that's something that I hope to lean into because it's allowed me to open up in some different ways. We talked about the word creativity and the creation of things. I think when you not only talk about them out loud, but give yourself the space to write things down, truths are spoken through that. It's a way to pay attention, which are two words that are very different right now. And I think for me, I'm going to work on giving myself more time for that. It doesn't need to be a whole day of reflection because kids will get hungry, but that's something I'm going to this week is giving myself some time to reflect and write things down. The power of notes, the power of sticky notes around the house, a notebook, back of an envelope,
you are me. I am you.
I'm going to give myself space to write everything down.
I've got notes, I've got books, I've got actually too much. And I still don't think I've locked into like that one thing where like, okay, this is my go-to. If anyone knows about that one thing that just really works, then give it to me.
That would be great. I think you sent me a text message this week. It was like, I'm going to not write this down on a notepad, but write this down in a text message. Jill, is that the same thing?
Putting it in the book means that it was probably going to stay in the book. Whereas if I'm already thinking of Nicole and what we're stepping into, I'm just going to put it here in the phone. And yeah, so that's what that was.
Great.
I did write it down though. Sometimes I have so many things, I don't go back to it. I'm not one to reread, or if I just happen to be flipping through and see it, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I did have all these thoughts. So it's a thing that I'm working on. I got to figure out.
It's a journey. Seriously, if this is the way, please let us know.
Yeah, just give me a little bit of insight.
My sticky notes to you.
Is there anything other than listening to Elevation Worship? Is there anything else you're listening to, reading right now that is of support in your trust journey?
Yeah, I mean, Elevation Worship, like, shout out to them. Like, what a group. That's definitely first and foremost right now. If you know me, you know that I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds. I was shaking around. Jalen Hurts, I think, repeated it out, and it kind of stuck with me because it's also in the space where I'm at. And there's a couple of verses that have been on my mind, but I'm going to give Hurts a shout out here. John 13:7. You don't realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. And I think that those words, giving yourself a space to write them down and reread them, whether it's in the Bible or in a notebook or on my phone, I need to see it every day. I need to see it every day. It's part of me every day. Putting words around me throughout my day is a space that I'm in now. Yeah. Like I said, just that devotional and music is where I'm at right now. Trying to get better at digging into the Bible.
Yeah.
Space that I'm growing into. So yeah, that's the journey. That's about the bandwidth that I have right now.
And that's exactly what you need. Until it's time to shift that.
How about you?
I would say right now it's definitely I have started to read the Bible. I have a Jesus Calling book, and each daily devotional has the scriptures that the essence of the thing is pulled from. And usually back in the day, it'd just be like, okay, I'm going to read this and reflect if something wants to be reflected, and that's it. But at least I read it. The intention now is that I actually have my Bible right next to it, and I whip up and I read it. And the beautiful thing is the curiosity of, okay, wait, actually, because this is only one or two sentences, what is the whole section saying? Or what is the whole chapter saying? And then I'm now at this point, I've got two books. I've got Luke and Ephesians. I've got a notebook ready to go and read them. I haven't done it. But
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm actually reading and understanding the context of it, not just those snippet of a couple of sentences. Usually I don't give myself time for that. And I've been actively giving myself time to be in the word and start to understand it.
Yeah. I think that's really good. You should try that.
Anything else on trust?
No, I think we covered a lot. It's a large topic.
Very much so.
And unpacked and appreciated the exercise this week to dive into the word a little bit more and more than just that singularity of that word. It has so many dimensions to it and faces to it. And so that's really what I've taken away from this week is, just because we talk about trust, we talk about one of these like key words, it's like, it's not just a word. There's so much more to it. Allowing yourself and giving yourself space to get off auto drive and spend some time in it to reflect has been a great exercise this week.
Awesome. Thank you for your presence today, your love, your friendship, and just for being who you are.
As we bring today's journey to a close, we invite you to carry these reflections into your own wilderness moments this week.
Remember that growth rarely happens in comfortable spaces. It's in the questions, the uncertainty, and yes, even the doubts, where we often discover the essence of ourselves and our faith.
We're so grateful to have you walking alongside us on this path. Until next time, may you trust the journey, embrace the wilderness, and find God in the wild spaces. This has been Faith in the Wild podcast. I'm Angelica McCarthy.
And I'm Nicole Moran. Thank you for listening.
High five.
High five. Love your life.